Okay, this video is kind of pre-work before I start the main ourBoatMonitor stuff. Some of the things I am doing are on my checklist. So learn Fusion 360. So I've done that. I've actually got a certificate for finishing the course on Udemy. So I think I've got a reasonable understanding of Fusion 360 enough to be able to build a box anyway. I needed to build my 3D printer. I showed you that in the last video, but here's a picture of it again. And also needed to create ourBoatMonitor Angular application, which is a copy from ourLora. So I'll just go through the steps I did in doing that, what things I needed to do to get ourLora running as ourBoatMonitor. And after that I'll be getting more into the ourBoatMonitor 3D printing stuff and putting the hardware together. To make the Firebase backend and the Angular application for ourBoatMonitor, I started from ourLora, which is a template. I copied that, created a new repository called ourBoatMonitor. I selected the cloning link, and then in VSCode I cloned that link, and that created a new project on my machine. I just did the normal things, an npm install for the home and the function directories. I also did the 3 global replaces I needed to replace wherever ourLora was in the source code. Changed it to ourBoatMonitor. The 3 variations on that with case-sensitive changes. Then finally I did an ng build prod just to make sure it all works. So I need to create icons for the manifest. Basic icon you need is 512 by 512 pixels. So I've drawn up an icon I'm going to use. I'm using Microsoft Expression Design 4. They no longer support it, but they provide it free. It still works pretty well as a vector type drawing program. So I'm going to be using that. So I've got my icon. It's on a 512 by 512 palette. So all I need to do is export it, and some of the things I need to do when I export is originally it had a transparent background. On Apple devices you really want a white background, so I changed from being transparent to being white background, and then I need to save to my various manifest file icons. So all the icons I support are currently in the project ourBoatMonitor source assets icon. I've already gone through this, so all these icons are created, but to show an example of creating an icon using my new design is I click on this one here, 57 by 57. I just need to make sure that that's the size that gets written out, so I click on that, it'll resize it automatically, everything's good. So I export all, it's writing over the 57 by 57, and I do a replace. And I just do that for all the icons. There used to be a good mass icon producer for the different sizes. That seems to have gone away. But this only takes about 5 minutes to go through once you've got a design and write it out to all the icons. Probably the only icon I won't update will be the 16 by 16. Well, I'll update it, but I won't have a white background. I'll make it a transparent background because that smallest icon sometimes ends up on the browser tab, or should show on the browser tab. So I want it to take on the background of the browser. Also for the ourBoatMonitor, I didn't want to use Angular Fire messaging. So I'm going to take that module out. I find it didn't work well on iPhones when running as a PDA. So let's just fix these up and also take out Firebase messaging, the service worker, don't need that, and also got a reference to that over here in the asset list for the deploy. I don't need that. And I think that might be it. I also have to clean up my functions where I'm using Firebase messaging and the user page where user can say they want to get Firebase messaging. And I think in the available triggers, I'll remove the trigger for Firebase cloud messaging. And that should clean it out of the code I've got here. So the final result is, after I've done all the updates to the content to be ourBoatMonitor instead of ourLora, again it only took about 2 or 3 hours to do that. I have this resulting application. It's now been hosted under the ourBoatMonitor.com URL as part of Firebase hosting, and does all the normal things. I can log in. And I've got a mostly empty instance of ourBoatMonitor, so I still need to add some devices, add some applications, create views and things to tie into the data that's going to be coming in from the ourBoatMonitor hardware once it's in my boat. So I tried one thing on my 3D printer before I got into designing the actual ourBoatMonitor boxes. So you can see here, I actually brought in my Lupincorp logo as a SVC file. Did an import, then I did an extrude on the flat logo. Basically got this, put a panel behind it. So that came out okay. Then I could just do if we look at the render, I get another view at this logo. And that's kind of what I expect it to look like on my printer. And then I used the tools, make, sent it out to Cura. Cura I've set up with all my Ender 3 version 2 parameters. Like that. And then did a slice, which made a little 17-minute print. And I'll show you what the printout looked like. There's my first print. Came out pretty well, so I did a little Lupincorp icon.